Annissa here from Firehouse Education and this week's Ask Annissa video column. And this week our question came in from Erin. And Erin said, "Hey Annissa, first off, our entire team really appreciates your videos and we watch them every week. My Ask Annissa question is, what is the biggest thing that you feel companies just getting into contents restoration overlook or miss entirely? Thank you so much for the videos, Erin and team." Well, awesome, Erin. I'm really happy to hear that you enjoy the videos and find them valuable. So that is a super great question. And probably the biggest thing that I find companies that are just getting into contents or doing contents are missing is systems. I know you would think I would say equipment, you would think I would say training, but really the most important aspect about contents, and the one thing that really sets it apart and makes it different than structure, is the fact that you really have to have good systems in place to be successful. Now that being said, it doesn't mean that you don't need systems in restoration, period. But when it comes to content, you have a lot of moving parts, which actually scares a lot of contractors from getting into contents and makes them feel like it's difficult or super challenging. But it really isn't if you have systems in place. Systems that ensure that your quality of work is always top notch. Systems in place that ensure that the steps don't get missed from job to job. And systems in place that ensure that your client is helped through the entire process without concerns and without feeling like they're left out and in the dark or maybe don't know what's going on. Those systems also really help to make sure that you don't have lost items that occur or maybe damage of items because something gets dropped or broken or left behind. So when I say systems, I'm really talking about everything from client onboarding to how each item is handled, your inventorying process when you're doing your pack out, and all of that. The other thing that makes systems so important when it comes to contents is that it's the emotional side of the claim. So when you have things in place, SOPs, standard operating procedures, to go from A to Z on a claim, you really just make the whole process smooth and make it easier to go through those steps for not only yourself and your team, but for your client and for the adjuster, which is important. The other thing about systems that is so critical when it comes to contents is having a good system in place, a checklist to do the billing so that you make sure that you don't leave money on the table and skip getting paid for things that you did on the job. And that is a really big concern of mine that I see a lot of restoration contractors doing, is that they're leaving so much money on the table when it comes to processing their contents because they don't have their checklists and their systems in place to make sure that that billing gets handled not only correctly so that you get all of the money that you have coming to you for the work you did, but so that that invoice gets pushed through quickly when it comes to the adjuster side where he's issuing payment, and that you get paid in full. So part of your system on contents needs to be about proper billing and how to word items and note features and details. Okay? Well, Erin, I hope that answered your question. I want to thank you so much for sending it to me. Please be sure and send your questions to Annissa@firehouseeducation.com. And I just might feature you on next week's Ask Annissa video column.